Everybody, Jaco here from Itensity, and we are very excited to share with you the new Itensity Assistant. So while we waiting for everybody, let's just switch over to our slides. Okay, so we're going to go through today, go through the Itensity Assistant, and today's goal is basically for us to get a holistic view of what the assistant is, how it works, and give you some suggestions of how you can use it. It's primarily to get you curious to start using the assistant. So yes, so let's get started. So as everybody join, I firstly just want to thank everybody for making the time. I know that you have clubs to run and you guys are very busy. So yes, let's get it started. Okay, so so today we're going to focus on what is the assistant, how to control it, what it does, seeing how we can use automation with AI, and then just signing off with looking at how the guardrails work. Okay, so here's a very broad overview. So to give you an idea, the Itensity Assistant is the AI that's connected to all facets of the business. So everything from marketing right up to your analysis and reports. So it can do things, it can pull data, and it can schedule tasks. Okay, so and I'm going to give you a little bit of what the brain looks like. So the AI is designed into, I would say, two things. It's got tools and memories. And I want to give you a little bit of background so that if you have the background, you can maybe understand how to prompt or how to use the AI. So tools is basically things that it can do. So it can pull a report, it can move a lead status, it can add a note. That's tools. Memories is the guidance that we give them to give the AI to basically how to use the tools. This could be certain workflows, how to manage multiple tools. And for this reason, why we want you to use the AI as much as possible is we are building out the memories on a daily basis on things that you ask. So we are looking at what you're asking on the system, and then we build the tools accordingly. So I'm going to show you a little bit the brain. Okay, so think of the brain, the tools and the memories. So if let's take, create a promotion. So that promotion is linked to that memory. So that memory gives it the context around if I create a promotion, if I ask it to create a promotion, what's everything what it should do. So let's go through another one. I want to get that's linked to there we go. So there is one that's linked to multiple, this is a cancellation save campaign. So everything, if you want to help it with churn, then that is now linked to all those tools, schedule tasks, email reports, get club theme, list members, list reports, because if we want to look at, the tools would be, let's say, for example, I want to send an email out to everybody that didn't attend any classes or did any access in 30 days. Now, the system will then see that memory, look at all the tools that it needs, and then it will build that automation to schedule maybe a task. While we're going through it, just if you guys have anything that you want to ask, just maybe add it into the comments, and then we can, if it's in the comments, then we can have a chat about that later on. So I just want to quickly go back here. So that's the difference between memories and tools. And the memories is, yes, I must say that that's where most of our work sits, and why we really need your help to guide us and to use the system, because that's how we can really think of that as how we use memories to teach the AI how to improve. So yes, so that's where we need you as customer. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit through the navigation of where to start and how you can access the AI. So let's open up our screen. Okay, so from here, so there's two sides that you need to be aware of. I just want to make this slightly bigger. Okay, so you've got this chat function. So you click on the chat function and you just start chatting. So this is, ask it, things like many active members do I have? And then you can start chatting and we'll go through the AI and it will then list your members. If there is some concerns around POPI, we don't give the AI any data. It just formulates. So for technical terms, we encrypt the data that goes to the AI and we sit with encryption key. And then what they do with the data, it comes back, the private data, for example, membership informations and private data, and then we decrypt it on our side. So the AI never sees it. And it's also an important point to note that if you are exporting data and you're importing it into Claude or ChatGPT, you do violate POPI Act because you are sending data, not just that it's the customer is not signed for the data, but those servers, most probably that data could go outside South Africa's borders. So I just want to be aware of that. And that's why we have also added the assistant on our side. If you want to start a new chat there, you can click on that little plus button there, and then you can start a new chat. And then the other important part is that AI button on the top nav. If I click there, this will give me a little bit of idea of my weekly usage, of how many tokens I've used, my monthly usage, and then the number of automated tasks that we have. Okay, so if I click to manage subscriptions, we're still going to work out the premium tiers, and there will be additional features that we're still in development when it comes to the premium tiers, like more analytics and much deeper dive into data. But we'll release that as soon as we're finished with it. But from here, I have now a nice view of my usage. I can toggle to my usage and see of my usage, how many was conversations, how many was automated tasks. Here's all my, I don't have any scheduled tasks at the moment, but if I create a scheduled task, there's two ways, and I'll go a little bit into detail on this. But then this is, think of a scheduled task as how frequently this task runs. So you'll be able to edit all your tasks that you get on this. So we'll create a task together, and I'll give you a little bit more details on that. And then all the list of conversations. So from a starting point, that if you're going onto Itensity and you're going to the AI, to start chatting with it and explore this page. So that's definitely the first things that I would do if I'm in, from your side. Let's quickly switch back to my slides. There we go. Okay, so you can just start chatting, and everything that we've managed here, your scheduled task, your usage, everything that you have. Okay, so now we want to go into so now we know how to how to access the AI. We know that we have memories and tasks and scheduled tasks. Now I'm going to go a little bit through some of the ideas that you can, I'll give you some ideas. And yes, before I do this, I just want to raise that there's so much that we can do within the AI. That the few ideas that I'm going to share with everybody is what the South Afrikaans a druppel in die emmer. So it's very little on what we actually can do if we just look at the few tasks. But it's just for you to get an idea. So, okay, great. So firstly, I just ask it, I ask it the basic task, give me a financial report and show me what this can improve. And then it gave me my collections, debit orders. And again, this is now, for example, a memory that we've built as we do a little bit of analysis, seeing that of the 100 and, let's see if I can make this slightly bigger. Okay, cool. Of the 179, your debit orders are weak because we're membership business and, we would like to build recurring. EFTs is carrying the business. So that, for example, for me, if I need to analyze this, that's for me a risk because, EFT carries risks not just from members not having recurring billing, but there's always a delay in capturing EFTs from your bank statements up to your systems. A lot of the times EFT capturing gets missed. Therefore, so if I need to analyze this from my point of view, card and point of sale transactions is not, and payment links is not showing here. So that for me is a red flag because you're not optimizing your collections. The fact that the debit orders is low and you've got very high EFT base. So again, this is giving you as a club owner very quick access. And here's the magic of the AI. Is a lot of the times, if we are club owners and we have our staff that runs the systems and we've got collection staff, everything, there's this gap between what we know and the data, the actual live data. And one of the key things that we want to bridge is to give you instant access to information on your business so that you can make better informed decisions quickly without friction. Okay, so, and that's what the AI can do. It gives you high level actionable information quickly. There's a stat that I saw that I researched that, and we actually pulled it. We pulled the information out of a system. We looked at how many of the business owners are frequently accessing the Itensity system, and it's about 22% of the business owners themselves access the system. Most of the people are staff. So that gives us very clear indication that you are a little bit, there's a little bit of a distance, and from a time point of view and accuracy point of view between you and the information in your business. Okay, so let's go through another example. Look at my debit order submitted for May and April and compare them. So just a little comparison. There it gives my batch summary. There was 3 batches submitted for a total of that. In May, there's 4 batches submitted, total on that. What can we say? May, that extra batch. May submitted the value higher. And there's a little bit of a very quick, digestive summary of your finances without you needed to go through multiple Excel spreadsheets or documentation. Okay, so let's look at leads, for example. So if you use our CRM, if you don't use our CRM, I highly recommend just start using the CRM. It's a very powerful tool to manage your sales and leads. On here, so there I just did a summary on Marcus, the lead. And there it gives me an actionable item. Call him today. The lead is warm, so it's not hot. It's warm. It showed our intent. So basically, what the AI does is read through all the interactions you had on your CRM on the lead, and then it gives you a high-level breakdown. So that's a very good example of what you can do from a leads point of view, looking at from a campaigns point of view. So the system even can create landing pages for you, full designed HTML landing pages and emails. And I'm going to go through a live example of that a little bit later. So looking at, for example, here's the, from a member's point of view, who has not accessed the gym in the last 30 days. And then it pulled me a report. They're the first 5, and then there will be a downloader. So that member report would be an Excel spreadsheet with everybody on this. So now I can even take it further and say, okay, write for me an email, and we'll do that as a live example. Write for me an email to invite them, and then I can make that as a scheduled task to do that automated. Okay, so let's quickly go through a few other examples. So yeah, I've done some automations. So I would like to have for example, I asked, I want a scheduled summary of all my sales, cancellations, and leads, and send it to me every 8 a.m. in the morning. So what the system will do is now every 8 a.m. I'll get a notification, and then it will give me my report on all my new leads. Okay, same thing with, and here's a very nice thing that you can do. So if you do run this report, so you want to see, and I created now, so for instance, here, I created myself a daily report on any new leads scheduled 8 a.m. Then I asked it to dry run it. And then it gave me the report. So it gave me a little bit of a snapshot to give me a little bit of idea what the dry run snapshot looks like. Okay, so tasks. So scheduled tasks, this is now the automation portion. So if I go through the chat and I ask it to create for me an automation, then that will be on my scheduled tasks, and those tasks will run automatically. So it depends on what you said, recurrence of what you said, of what it needs to do. You know, you can have it things like look on every Monday, look at leads that's been called for more than 30 days and move them to a cold lead status, for example. So those are things, automations that you can run. Okay, so I would say, so where do we start? Because there's a lot to unpack, and it needs you to go through it. So just start by giving it more basic commands. You know, give me my leads, my finances, you know, some of the data that you can see what that looks like. And then you can start doing some reports, and I would also suggest you add a scheduled task for you as well, some automation. Okay, so here's basically what, you know, to help you. So, okay, so you submit your details, you just ask, and again with support. So this is specifically when you need help from us. Ask the AI to run through the details. So I'm going to give you a little bit of idea. So there's two ways that you can log a support ticket going forward. So if you open up the AI, you can go to directly to log the support portal. Okay, and that will link it immediately. Secondly, that as you use the AI and you've got any suggestions or you want to log specific feedback about the AI, please click on the submit feedback button. We would like to see, you know, hear from you personally. We also log anything that happens that this AI couldn't do. We do log that so that we can have a look at it and implement it into the system. But please, we want to hear from you personally as well. You know, there's just, you know, there's a difference between the AI telling me you couldn't get this report versus what you actually want to see. So that would be very helpful for us if you can give us feedback on, you know, on the AI itself. And so logging a support ticket. So here I ask, you know, I knew the answer because, you know, it was difficult to find a specific thing, but I looked at, okay, why was this member not on this batch? Okay, and then it looked at it to see it was blocked and, you know, linked a little bit. And let's say this doesn't give you the right answer and the AI doesn't, then you can just ask it to log a support ticket. And then that support ticket will log the ticket on your behalf. The why you should use this and why we would like, you know, so that feedback here gets sent to the support team as well. So then the support team has a lot more context around what you've wanted to ask. And we log it separately and we try to improve the AI going forward with that. So it helps us if you log a support ticket by going through the details first. It does help us to expand on the AI versus you just clicking on the support button. Okay, great. So some exciting news after this, before we go into some live presentations, to some live things, is that after the beta, we don't have an end date yet because we just want to see how much information we can gather. Then we'll release a dedicated mobile app called the Itensity Assistant. So again, this is ideally for you as owner. You'll have this app, and it's a basic app. You know, it's got the chat function, it's got a list of all your automated tasks, and, you know, it has a notification center to it and a dashboard to it. So very basic, so that when you have a question, you drive in the car and you've got a question, you know, don't type while driving, please don't do that. But when you stop, then you can quickly ask it a question. You can get immediate feedback about your business. So we really want to, our goal is to provide you as business owner a lot more tools so that you can build your business better. Okay, so let's quickly, if you want to add some questions to the chats, so while we're going there, let's quickly go through some examples. So I want to show you some, let's take the example. Look at who did not access the gym in the last, make it 30 days. It's most probably everybody because this is a test account. So what the AI will do, it's calling now all the tools, all the reports, everything you need to do. Okay, great. So there is 500, basically all of them has not accessed the gym. So and now I can go and say, okay, I'm going to do my voice prompt. Create for me an email that we can send to these members, inviting them to access the gym. And yes. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Okay.